Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range to show you guys a new product from Dead Air Silencers and Mike Pappas, who's a really good dude. They sent this can over to us for testing, and I will be running it on a number of different AKs. If you take a look at it, it's called the PBS-1 Wolverine. Wolverine, I'm guessing, goes back to one of my favorite movies as a kid, and that would be Red Dawn. The PBS-1 is the official Russian designation of the AK suppressors they developed for their own military use, and the profile of this can looks just like a PBS-1. Now I will say, for years, the suppressor manufacturers that I've talked to, I've begged them to make a PBS-1 type suppressor for AK lovers like myself. And I never talked to Mike Pappas about it. He had the idea all on his own. He went out and did it, and this is the end result, and I couldn't be happier with the looks and the quality of the suppressor. So we're going to go over the features of the suppressor. We're going to put it on the Brulu Care meter, see what it meters out at, and just generally have a first range session with this new can. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and let's get started. We'll take it the rifle, which is a Bulgarian milled receivered AK from Kvar. We're going to take it over to the sound meter and do a little bit of formal testing, and then we'll do some informal shooting and give you some thoughts on this interesting new product.
Haha, very cool.
We're going to test the PBS-1 Wolverine from Dead Air Silencers. We will be using some 122 grain Red Army Standard. It is Russian made ammo this time. They've sourced it from different countries. This is the Russian made stuff. Our test rifle will be a Kvar Bulgarian milled receiver AK47. Going to go ahead and load up 5 rounds. We're using our Brulu Care meter. We've calibrated it this morning. We set it up and do our testing just like Silencer Shop. We put the muzzle at the end, with the muzzle being in line with the pickup on the meter. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 0. We are recording. And shot 1. .141.7. Now I don't find that to be surprising, guys. 141.7. When we were shooting this thing before we put it on the meter, we were saying it sounds like it's probably around 140 decibels. It's fairly loud. A lot of that is because AKs simply aren't good suppressor platforms. You get a lot of what's called piston pop right here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and reset the meter. Green light, and here we go for our next round. That one was 142.3. We'll go ahead and reset the meter. Test round number 3. .139.9. Go ahead and reset the meter. Test round number 4. .140.2. And 138.7. That's all of our ammunition. So this gun is right on the border of what OSHA tells us is safe for impact noises. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to run the can on an AK, any suppressed AK with any can, I would recommend using hearing protection with the suppressor. This is actually what I would expect from any AK I've ever suppressed. The performance is on par. So what other suppressors don't have over this one, though, is this one just looks like it belongs on the AK because it's a pretty darn close copy or facsimile of the PBS-1. All right, guys, let's give this bad boy a workout. We have some of the very cool Russian waffle magazines. We have a few of them left at Copper. We got them in from Lee Armory. And we're just going to see how hot we can get this can, see how she holds up on my Bulgarian AK. All right, I know you guys get mad at me for shooting steel, so now I'm just going to shoot the dirt. All right, gas in the face. Yep, you get gas in the face. Although I'm going to say it's not as bad as most AR-15s I've shot suppressed. You definitely want to wear glasses. I have shot it without glasses, and that's a mistake. But it's not horrible. I didn't like completely gas myself out. Let's try one more magazine here. And we'll just basically do a mag dump. Yeah, if you take a look at my eyes, they're not watering at all. So the gas is present, I can feel it, but it's not like gassing me out. Sometimes when I do 30-round mag dumps with suppressed AR-15s, I have to close my eyes for a couple of seconds because they're burning so bad. So look at the smoke coming off that can. Now it is a Cerakote finish on the can, which is a high temp black paint. But as with all cans, if you get them too hot, that finish will start to wear off. The hottest part of the can is typically right here in the middle. And if you just do mag dump after mag dump after mag dump, you're going to cause the finish of your can to erode. So you might want to be careful if you're worried about the aesthetics. Me, not so much. A well-used can looks good. Let's let Jason shoot this thing. I know he's itching to shoot it. He's a big AK guy. I've heard for years that it would be physically impossible to make a suppressor for all AKs out there. What about thread concentricity? What about, you know, this, that, and the other? It's impossible. AKs are not suppressible. And I've known for years that's not true. I've purposely gone out of my way to suppress AKs. I will agree that the AK is not the best suppressor platform. They're very loud. And one of the reasons why they're loud is because they vent gas right here, most of them, and they have what's called piston pops. So you have expanding gas coming out from behind the bullet that's operating the mechanism of the rifle that pops or expands right here. So you're not suppressing this, you're only suppressing the gas that's escaping out the muzzle end. So AKs are just naturally loud rifles. So I've suppressed AKs. I've suppressed my AK-74. You've seen that here on the channel. I've used a Russian Armament can on it. And you know, I made sure that the threads were concentric before I put a 5.56 can on it. It still meters at right about 140 decibels. It's right at the threshold of being hearing safe. And we know now that this can is right there as well, right around 139, 140 decibels. So I do recommend wearing hearing protection if you're going to use this setup. However, it does suppress the gun considerably. So this right now currently has the left-hand thread adapter. Dead Air tells me, and they say on their website, that they will also have adapters for 14mm left hand, which I currently am using, 14mm right hand, half by 28, 5/8 by 24, 24mm, and several others that they plan to make, and the adapters are easily swappable on the can. Now you'll notice the profile of the can looks just like the original PBS-1. You'll also notice that it has locking detents here for the pin on the end of the AK's barrel. Now it is normal when you screw this down to see a little bit of thread. You just want to try to make sure that you get it tight enough that the pin locks into one of these recesses. The can is going to index against the muzzle end of the gun. You'll also notice here on the very end of the suppressor, it has a very large bore diameter. They say that it's good up to 7.92 by 54 caliber. I'm going to guess this is 40 caliber or larger. So that's how they're getting around the concentricity issues. If your threads aren't perfectly concentric to bore, this is like shooting a 9mm through a 45 caliber can, right? It still suppresses just fine. It's just that the bullet's not coming anywhere near those baffles, and I think that's one of the ways that Dead Air got around that concentricity issue and the fact that most AKs don't have concentric threads. Another cool feature of the can is you have this locking collar which you can back off, and you can adjust this to fit your particular rifle. So all rifles are different. Bulgarians are different from Romanians, Romanians are different from Russians, and Russians are different from Polish AKs. And so you can push this in and set it to different positions where you can see how far out this shelf is on the can. So you can recess it like I have right here, which works on my Bulgarian gun. I can push it over here. Let me try to find, there's also a takedown point. That's the takedown point, so you can swap out the adapters. But let me go ahead and put it back together here and show you one of the settings where it actually sticks out quite a bit. So now you can see the collar sticking out quite a bit right there. All right, and you may need that for certain rifles, but what you don't want to do is have it index off the front sight block. That's going to be a bad idea. You want to make sure that you allow it to screw all the way in and let the end of the barrel hit inside the suppressor. I'm going to go back and set it back to where I use it. You have 3 different positions you can set it to. That's the position I like right there. I'm going to go ahead and turn my locking ring down. And the can is ready to use. Okay, to put it on the gun, this is a left-hand thread, so righty's loosey and lefty's tighty, so it still takes me a while to get used to that concept. You go ahead and screw it down. I use a flathead screwdriver to hold the pin down and screw it all the way down until the end of the barrel hits inside the can, and then I'm going to turn it, I'm going to torque it until that pin drops into that slot so it won't back off. Now it's on there and there's no movement in the can on the rifle, and it's ready to shoot. I'm going to put it on a number of different AKs. This is the first AK that I've put it on, and so far I've been pretty impressed with it. The can comes to market with an MSRP of $1,099. The actual street price may vary, but they are shipping right now. All right, let's load up some more magazines and do some shooting with the rifle. When I sighted my rifle in, I did so obviously while it was unsuppressed. I've had this rifle for a couple of years. When I put the Dead Air Silencer on here, the PBS-1, I noticed that I didn't really have any measurable point of impact shift. Now, I'm not shooting, or I have not shot this rifle for groups. AKs, you don't go to the range and shoot 1 MOA groups with them. I shoot at man-sized targets with an AK, and that's what I'm going to do now. I have my Challenge Steel target down range. I have some of the Red Army standard ammunition loaded up into the gun. This is some of the elite ammunition, and it's the brass case stuff. And I want to thank the guys over at Lucky Gunner for supplying the ammunition. I am big friends with the guys over there at Lucky Gunner, good people. All right, so I have my Challenge Steel target down there, 75 yards. I'm just going to take a knee here, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot the target. You should be able to hear the steel ring, and which will confirm, of course, 0 of this rifle, which has not been altered for my for the can. All right, so hopefully you guys could hear that. My glasses are fogging up. It's surprisingly warm today. Even though it's fall here, it's like 75 degrees and humid because my glasses are fogging up. Let's go ahead and get an over the shoulder shot here so you can see what I'm doing downrange. Again, this is some of the Red Army Standard Elite. This is the brass case stuff. I think it comes out of Herzegovina. It's a really nice load. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and assume my AK magazine supported shooting stance here. And here we go. All right. So, yeah, this suppressor works really, really well, guys. I am not seeing any significant point of impact shift. I'm still hitting dead center of minute a man. Couldn't be happier with it. I think it looks outstanding on the rifle. Performance is what I would expect out of an AK that is suppressed. And again, that is just one sexy sucker, man. Holy cow, I love the way that thing looks. We always like to get a baseline for how the gun meters unsuppressed. So we're using the same ammunition, the 122 grain Red Army Standard, which is the Russian made ammo. I'm gonna go ahead and reset my meter here and get it recording. I'm gonna fire 5 rounds. And here we go. 163.9. which is about right. Go ahead and reset that. Round 2. $164.1. Round 3. $164. Round 4. 164.5. And our 5th and final round. 164 flat. So there we have it, guys. 164 decibels without the can and about 140 decibels with the can. About a 20-some decibel, 24 decibel reduction in sound. All right, guys, we're going to tie things up this afternoon for the first range session with the PBS-1 Wolverine from Dead Air Silencers. My first and initial impressions are, I absolutely love this thing. It suppresses, it's about 140 decibels, which again is pretty much commonplace for suppression of any AK I've ever suppressed. It certainly looks the part. It's certainly well made. I'm really looking forward to getting a 24mm adapter because this will be going on my Bulgarian crank, my 545. So you can use it on 545 guns. You can use it on 7.62 by 39 guns. Heck, you can even put it on a 308 or whatever because it does have a large bore diameter on it. They say up to 7.92, which is basically 8mm Mauser. So it actually has quite a bit of volume. It looks sharp. It works well. And yeah, for $1,099, you're not going to find a better AK suppressor, in my opinion. And really, it's the only truly dedicated AK suppressor that's in mass production that I know of on the market. So I know the next question you guys are going to have before we get out of here for the day is how does it 80 style hip fire? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out right now. Wolverines! All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to support the Military Arms channel, the best possible way to do that is to swing by and check us out at Copper Custom. Also, if you haven't already, please check out full30.com. It's full30.com. We've taken all the web's best firearms content creators and brought them under one roof, and that is full30.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all those years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.